On February 10, 2022, a routine call to 911 dispatchers in the quiet community of Maple Falls, Washington.
My name is Haley. My neighbor, 2 houses, the stop sign, is out there shooting his 12 gauge just at the neighbors behind us.
Turned into a terrible experience that tested the locals' resilience and the resolve of law enforcement officers involved. This began with several complaints from residents about an aggressive neighbor, later identified as Joel Burke Young, who was 60 years old. Young had been discharging his shotgun in the air while hurling threats towards his neighbors, thus creating fear and tension among them.
More than prepared to put it out. You didn't make any threats to shoot anybody.
No.
He didn't make any threats to kill you?
No.
Okay, these guys are pissed off because
He may have. He may have,
okay.
But I wasn't overly concerned about it.
Okay. Let me go talk to these guys and I'll brief him real fast.
Yeah.
These guys are out here all armed up and pissed off because they're like the local neighborhood buddies and watch group, right? They're like, why the f*** is he shooting a gun out here?
To investigate what was happening, deputies Ryan Rathbun and Jason Thompson of Whatcom County Sheriff's Office were sent to the scene. However, they soon realized that it wasn't just another disturbing the peace case as they initially thought.
Oh, so he's making smoke. Okay. I'm not the burn ban police, so I don't know if there's a burn ban because of the air quality.
I don't know.
I have no frickin' idea.
No, I don't either.
So, who's out shooting a shotgun in the air?
Deputies Ryan Rathbun and Jason Thompson of the Whatcom County Sheriff's Office in Washington are the first to respond, completely unaware of just how dangerous this situation will soon become.
But he's just out here being an asshole.
That's correct.
When the 2 deputies arrived at the site, they didn't realize how dangerous it would be for them. The neighbors had told them that Young had been acting abnormally by shooting his gun and threatening anybody who confronted him.
No, it's the sheriff's office. Why don't you come out with your hands empty and talk to us?
Kiss my
Okay, well, that's different.
Do you want to just keep an eye on that and I'll talk to these guys?
Yeah, sure.
The more these deputies tried to get details from these occupants, the more confrontational Young became. He openly refused to follow officers' orders while shouting filthy language on top of being abusive in speech, making it clear that he would not cooperate anytime soon. It was obvious that Young's condition was still volatile and that he was not only armed, but highly disturbed as well.
Get the f*** out of here. Tell these people to put the goddamn smoke down. Take a ride on the wild side. Hit it.
Deputy Rathbun, while maintaining visual contact with Young's house, tried to speak with the nearby residents to understand the suspect's mindset and gather any useful information. The neighbors were understandably frightened and incredibly angry.
A reckless endangerment issue?
This isn't the first
Possibly.
time, and he told us if we call the cops, he was going to kill us. And the first
He
time
said
we
that
had,
today?
Today, he said, "Call the cops, and I'll kill you." And we said, "Fine, we'll go get our guns, and we're calling the cops."
To you guys,
To us.
today he yelled that to you?
Yeah, just when this happened, because we told him to stop shooting our kids outside. He told us to go f*** ourselves.
They described Young as a reclusive and unstable individual whose actions had been escalating over time. One neighbor recounted how Young had threatened to kill them if they called the cops. This threat, made just earlier that day, underscored the seriousness of the situation.
And I informed him that I'm a veteran. He wants to f*** around. I was in Afghanistan. I don't care. Come outside. I'll dump right here. You threatened me, this household, and our family. I defend all terrorists, foreign and domestic. I don't care.
Despite the clear danger, deputies Rathbun and Thompson continued their efforts to de-escalate the situation. They knew that any sudden movements or aggressive action could trigger a violent response from Young. Unfortunately, their worst fears were soon realized. Young, now fully aware of the deputies' presence, opened fire without warning. Both deputies were struck by the gunfire, with birdshot pellets hitting them in the face.
Shots fired, shots fired.
Okay.
The sudden attack left the deputies in critical condition, unable to effectively defend themselves or call for immediate backup. It was at this moment the true heroism of the local residents came to light. Recognizing the dire situation, a group of neighbors quickly took up arms to protect the fallen officers. One neighbor unloaded an entire magazine into Young's house, providing cover, while others rushed to help the injured deputies. If you're liking the video so far, then make sure to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.
You okay,
Haley,
Greg?
call medics!
They're coming. Greg, shots fired. At the front door. Hey, get back.
The neighbors acted quickly and bravely, managing to drag deputies Rathbun and Thompson to the relative safety of a nearby garage. Once there, they immediately began administering first aid to the injured officers, using whatever they could find to stop the bleeding and stabilize their conditions. The neighbors' quick thinking and courageous actions were crucial, as they likely prevented the deputies' injuries from becoming fatal.
Big red bag, black backpack. Please grab it. I don't have a whole lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I need egg, but we need replacements.
Yes! In the head!
Meanwhile, additional law enforcement units began to arrive at the scene. The tension was immense as officers knew Young was still inside of his house, armed and dangerous. They had to be extremely careful with every move they made to avoid any further casualties. The officers coordinated their efforts, ensuring that no one else would get hurt while they worked to resolve the situation. The arrival of these reinforcements provided some relief, but the danger was far from over.
Hey, stay armed up.
That light blew out right there.
You need to back over here. He shot me out the front door.
Simultaneously, injured deputies were rushed to a medical facility for immediate treatment. In spite of their serious injuries, both remained conscious and alert.
I want you to stay further out from perimeter, so that's going to take all the tight stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If there's a way when we get back there, if there's a way to make contact with Haystack, I want to get this moved because we're going to have a big piece of armor coming in.
Okay.
Austin, what do you need from me?
I don't know. I think I just did a go team or jump bear tank on your side when we see the front door.
Okay.
I think they're pretty well empty, so I don't think there's very many people in there yet. So whatever you need. Okay.
Meanwhile, outside Young's house, there was a number of law enforcement officers who rounded up the premises, ready for what could be long hours of face-off with him alone inside. Armored vehicles and tactical units were put into use, demonstrating how dangerous this call actually was. Officers repeatedly ordered Young to surrender, but he defied doing so. It seemed like he didn't realize the weight hanging around his neck of everything at all.
You guys are really making a big scene out of it.
Keep your taser on him.
He has no idea what he did.
Who?
This guy. You guys are here for me? Like, he has no idea.
Finally, after hours of tense negotiations, Young came out of the house. Nevertheless, he seemed unconcerned given the heavy presence of law enforcement, and even laughed as he stepped outside. The officers quickly approached him and arrested him without any further incident. Young was taken into custody and charged with several felonies, including 2 cases of attempted murder in the first degree. However, at his arraignment in February 18, 2022, Young pleaded not guilty, and as of January 2024, remains in custody at Skagit County Jail awaiting trial. So what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments section down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.